Now that you created your login and you logged in to Termix, let's add our first host. When you first log in, you will have the quick actions, and as a quick action, let's add our first host here. Okay, so I'll add an IP address. I'll say which username I should be using. I'll give this host a name and folders. So obviously it's your first host, so there are no folders to organize your hosts. I'll just create the first one. Tags, you can create as many as you want and you can pin them or not. Authentication, password or key or any other credential that you pre-configured, and we will go to credentials configuration in a minute or so. So this is a simple SSH, normal port, username and the respective password. We will add the host, and it is as simple as that. Before accessing, you can edit this host at a later time. You can edit terminal configurations from appearance to behavior. For example, if you need a larger buffer, and advanced options that in most cases you won't need to be touching these advanced settings. You can also enable tunnel, so this means you can use this node as an SSH tunnel, but you will need to install SSH pass in the host. Okay, file manager, you can define the default path. So in this case, it will show you the root partition, and statistics, which is something I'll show you again. That this is something that I will show you just in a minute as well. So you can enable status monitoring or not, check interval every 30 seconds. Collection, you can keep 30 seconds by default, or you can go to minutes, and of course the longer metrics or the more metrics you collect, the bigger your SQLite database will be, so you have to balance with the performance. I think the default options are quite good in this case. So update host if we had made any changes. I believe that you want to see the terminal. Simple as, it's a normal terminal. So you can type your commands, etc. And now you can also access the file manager. And here we are. If I go to my home folder, I can download a file. Simple as right-clicking and, download or compress or even pin, rename the file, copy, etc. And if you want to edit a file, you just need to double click on the file and you have the editor to edit it. So you can have keyboard shortcuts, you can add a line and delete your line, and you can just save it at the end. You can also upload files, create folders. Let's rename the folder. Let's delete the folder. Or you can simply create a new file. So by default it creates a text file, but you can of course rename it, and you can call it a markup file, and you could write whichever information you need here. I'm going to delete the file again. And this is the file manager. I will upload the file, so just you have So I'll just upload a tiny image. There we go. As you can see, I uploaded an image. If I double click the image, I can even open the image on this file explorer. So to close the tabs, as you can see, everything you open will generate tabs here, which you can browse. You go to home, your host manager, you can add a host from here. Let's close this, your terminal and your file explorer. I'll close this. And now I will show you what else we can check from the main dashboard. So as you add hosts, your dashboard will show you Termix version, etc., and the status of the database, total servers, tunnels, all of those interesting things. And you have server stats. You can check the stats here. Server details, and here we are. You can refresh, and you have some metrics that might be useful. Like I showed you a few minutes ago, these statistics are kept for 30 seconds and refreshed every 30 seconds as well. I'm going to close this, keeping this terminal here. And I am going to duplicate this terminal so I can show you another set of nice perks this tool gives you. So now we have two terminals, and you can browse the open tabs here as well. And you have this symbol, which is tools. So let's start with split screen. So in this case, we do have two terminal sessions open. What I will do is just split the screen in two. So this area here, I'll split it in two to split. You could do 3 split or 4 split. And as you saw, you only need to drag to the respective placeholders the terminal sessions you will want in the respective screen quadrant. I'll apply the split, and now we have two independent SSH sessions. So if I do this, it runs here. If I do this, it runs here. Okay. One of the perks, for example, if you have two top sessions, two tops running, etc., on two different servers or more, obviously the bigger your screen, the more windows you can have. But one thing this open source Web SSH tool has is key recording. So key recording, it's not a keylogger of any sort. It's in fact the mechanism to broadcast to all terminal windows you have open. So I'll select this one and this one. As you can see, they become highlighted when you click on them. And I'm going to clear the screen. As you can see, my commands are going to both screens. I'm going now to run another command. And I'm going to clear the screen again, and I'm going to de-highlight, if that is even a word. I will unselect this terminal session and I'll run the command. As you can see, only run on one. If we deselect this, you cannot even type here. Let's clear the screen and stop key recording. It stops the broadcast. Okay. Snippets is, I already have here some nice couple of snippets for the example, but I will show you. You can create a folder by clicking here, and the folders are kind of a placeholder to organize your information better. Okay, so for example, I'll create a folder named Nice Tools. I'll put this, pick a color, okay, and I'll create a snippet. For example, check my public IP address, okay. I will store it here under the new folder we created, and my command will be, my snippet will be like this. So I'll create a snippet, and now if I put on focus this terminal window and if I click run, you will see that it gave me the IP, my public IP address. Okay, that's it. So you can have your own collection. So for example, run a Docker stats. So you can create as many folders and snippets you want. Now let's go to history, and the history is the history of broadcasted with key recording. It's the commands. Let me rephrase that. So your history is the commands you broadcasted with your key recording. Okay, and that's it. So this is kind of a nice thing to know when you start using the tool. So I'm going to end the split. There's not much more to say about this section of the tool. I think we covered pretty much almost everything you can do with this tool, that, as you can understand now, it's a very comprehensive tool and it's indeed a must-have. I will now exemplify how you can manage your credentials. So I'll create a key to add to this server. So let me open the server. We go back here. Let me create credentials, and I'll create demo name, demo as creation, demo key. You can add a username. Okay, you can create a folder. I'll create a folder name keys. You can add tags or not, and then the authentication, you can either, it can be a password, so you could have your user and password and that's it, or a key. In this case, I'll generate a key. Don't worry about copying the private key, because once this video is published, this key won't exist anymore. So I'll just copy the public key. I'll go to my server. So I will add this key to this host now. Key is here. I think I copied it all. Let me double check. I might have not copied it. Let's double check this. So as you can see, it's very easy to get back to a credential. Oh yeah, it's complete. So I'll just save this. And okay, so what I will do now, I'll close this and I'll add another host, which will be the same IP address for the sake of the exercise. Username is, I won't put anything here. Host name is web with key. Folder home lab. Tags web server. And I'll use a credential. So as you can see, I don't have a username. I'm not filling in a password. I'm just going to select a credential, and here are my credentials. In this case, just one. So I'll add this host. We have a new host here. I'll click on terminal, and boom, we are inside the host. So as you can see, this is a very simple to use tool, very powerful, operating system agnostic, and also portable, because obviously, because we are using a volume, you can configure your Docker stack to create the volume inside a portable folder of some sort, and you can imagine that you can carry this with you on your USB flash, and here we are. Okay, and that's it for this video. I will and that's it for this video, and stay tuned for the next one.